is Maurice Washington. I want to welcome everybody to another episode of Executive Talk. Those who are watching live or those who are listening later on our podcast, thank you so much for joining us today. Today, we have a rare opportunity to highlight one of the best nonprofit organizations across the nation, this one specifically in Denver, Colorado, Dress for Success Denver. And with me today, we're going to talk about beyond the suit and figure out what that means. With me today to explain that is Amara Martin, and we also have Bernadette Mcclair. How are you two ladies doing today?
Good, thank you.
Wonderful, thank you.
Thank you so much for being here and talking to us about this nonprofit organization. I know for a lot of people, this is a brand new experience. A lot of people have not heard of you, but a lot of people have. But this is the opportunity for us to, explain Dress for Success and what you two do. How's the year been for Dress for Success so far?
We have had an absolutely amazing year. We moved to a new location in March, and we're starting a new program that we're going to share a lot about today. And we have been able to help so many women. We are already about to celebrate 20,000 women served since the day that we opened our doors. And it is such a blessing to be able to be an important and impactful part in everyone's lives.
That's amazing. What is the address, Amara, just for those that are here locally?
Absolutely. We are in the University Hills Shopping Center, and our address is 2594 South Colorado Boulevard.
All right. If you're here locally, you know where to go. So let's talk about that, and let's talk about the history for everybody so people can really get a little grasp as to how this organization started. So 16 years of DFS Denver. So Amara, go ahead and get us started. What does that mean to you? And give us a little bit of background, please.
Absolutely. Dress for Success Denver started in 2006. We had very humble beginnings. We started in the basement of an old schoolhouse off of Colfax and Ogden. And we started based on the principle of what would happen if you gave one woman one suit so that she could get one job. Well, what happens, you are empowering women to change their lives. And so we started with our professional suiting program, which I think a lot of people know. We take in donations and we give those donations to women. But then as the years have continued, we now have 4 programs that we are running out of our office: the professional clothing, a career training center, job readiness classes, as well as our professional women's group.
Okay. So obviously there's been a lot of expansion, a lot of growth in that aspect of programs and really reaching the community, reaching these ladies that you serve. And so with that being said, our work matters. I want you to, Bernadette, take us down this pathway of our work matters and what you've seen over the years since you've been there. How long have you been with the organization, Bernadette?
Oh, wow. So I have been a part of Dress for Success. I became a client about 20 years ago in a need for a suit, and then moving here, fast forward to Denver during COVID. And what I've seen on my journey is the empowerment that Dress for Success has on the clients that we serve and the communities that we reach. It's life-changing to each and every woman in their homes. And even here in Denver, the amazing thing is seeing the transformation of the women that we serve.
Amazing. Okay. All right. Let's now we're getting into the thick of this, and this has always been interesting to me, which is stewards of diversity. I know a lot of business owners have shifted towards DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so, Amara, if you can take us down the pathway of stewards of diversity, and what does that mean in this organization? How do you tend to want to function, and how do you want that to look in your business model?
Being a steward of diversity is so important. And so when you think about a steward, that means that you've been charged to nurture something. You've been asked to really make sure that stewarding something, that it is activated and impacted into the community. And so I think what's most important about the diversity that we have, we are serving such a diverse group of women. On a yearly basis, we serve about 2,500 women, and they come from every age, every ethnic background, every stage in their lives. And that is truly special. Our staff is completely diverse, which is so important to me as well. And I think it's important that we live out that diversity that we are telling the community. So, for example, when I brought Bernadette on staff, that is really important because her being a client 20 years ago, we are showing that we're walking the walk as well as talking the talk. Then, what I think that Dress for Success is doing across the Denver metro area, we are increasing the DEI of our workplaces by opening access to employment opportunities that would previously have been denied or people would not have been able to get. So, regardless of where you are coming from, if you're coming from homelessness, or if you're in a shelter, or if you're coming out of incarceration, or maybe you're just in school and you're trying to figure out where to go, we are bringing employers to women, to diverse populations that increase the diversity of their workplace, which I think is so important as we really live out DEI.
Okay. And one thing I recognized when I first visited your office is obviously there's a lot of women, it's women oriented, but there is a guy there working with the organization. And so you're starting to reach out and you're starting to really draw in men to actually help be part of the future.
Absolutely. Dress for Success is for everyone. And I'm always asked, how can men get involved with Dress for Success? And why should men be involved in Dress for Success? And I truly believe that women's issues, employment issues, is everyone's issue. And the way that we really bring change is we bring together. And so there's absolutely no problem with the gentleman saying, gosh, I think that women should be able to go to work. In fact, I think way back when, that's part of the reason that women were able to get into the workforce, that diversity, that different minority groups and marginalized populations were able to be successful because someone else said, gosh, I think that this should change.
Yes.
And it is with the help of the men in our community, as well as the numerous women in our community, that we have been so successful. Thus, our neighbors, our community members, and all of the women that we're serving are successful as well.
Okay. All right. It leads me to this, and Bernadette, I want you to take the ball and run with it. When it comes to professional attire, one thing I was able to witness is just some of the variety of different types of clothing that Dress for Success has, and the professional attire seems like it has more meaning, and this is where we talk about the show beyond the suit. So talk to us about professional attire. And we see this lady, she has her new outfit here and she's posing for the camera, she's looking wonderful. We have this lady who's picking up her attire, it seems. And what is the transformation moment in this picture?
Yes. So what I can speak to, because I was a client over 20 years ago, the transformation is very important when a woman comes into Dress for Success, such as myself, coming out of domestic violence. I had no self-esteem. And when a woman comes into Dress for Success, we are presented with the opportunity to get suiting. And at that time, I was in an opportunity to receive a promotion at a job. And I didn't have the suit. I didn't have the funding. I had small children and I needed the attire to get the promotion at my job. And I'll share a little bit with you that about 72% of all murders and suicides involve intimate partners. And my situation was that dire. I was in a life or death situation and I needed to get out and I was afraid. But when I did get out, I still was afraid because I didn't have the confidence to know that I could get the job. And someone introduced me to Dress for Success. And Dress for Success, when I got there, I still was afraid. I didn't see myself. And they provided me with that suit. And when you look in the mirror and you see yourself, yeah, you're still dealing with the scars, the low self-esteem, and definitely the physical abuse that had happened and things of that nature. But when you see yourself not where you were, but where you want to go, it changes your life and the way you think about yourself. And Dress for Success and the picture that you see, that's something that Dress for Success does provide a woman. Confidence is almost like immediately. everything that I was going through, immediately saw myself. I was like, oh my God, I can do this. And so Dress for Success provided me the tools to upskill myself to look like where I wanted to go and give me the confidence and the courage to believe in myself that I could do it. And oftentimes, women who come out of domestic violence, we go into a relapse. And it's not just physically, it's emotionally. We might repeat the same relationship or the same habits. And of course, myself, here I am again, years later, doing the same, going through some of the same situations. But Dress for Success was there for me again, providing me with the support that I needed. And here I am today, and thankful that I have the opportunity to share my story, because oftentimes when a woman is going through domestic violence, we lose our jobs. We have sick days and we can't afford to go to work because oftentimes it affects us. But Dress for Success is a platform for women like myself and other women who have needs to come in and change our lives.
Bernadette, that's first of all, thank you so much for being vulnerable enough to share your story. That's a huge deal. And we're sorry that you came from that situation. I'm glad that you're able to pick back up and get on the ball and get running again. When I think about we just talked about DEI. One of the words that comes to me is inclusion. How important was it for you to feel included, especially at this particular type of moment in your life, for Dress for Success to really take you in?
Oh, wow. So at that time when I was going through my journey, I was a part of Dress for Success Dress for Success Michigan. Of
Michigan.
course, Dress for Success is in 144 cities and 22 countries, but I was going through and I needed the support, the inclusion, because I felt by myself. And oftentimes, women coming out of domestic violence don't share with their families because oftentimes the abuser not only attacks or destroys or kills the woman, they take the whole family out. So I didn't include my family in everything that I was going through. But when I got to Dress for Success, it was more of a safe haven, a godsend. It was grace that gave them the opportunity to help me during my challenges and going through my growth and my healing process of coming out of that. And it allowed me to become included. It was like a sisterhood in
Mm.
Michigan. They don't judge you when you come through the door. They don't ask questions. They accept you as you are. And that was the key for me. I didn't have to say anything. But what they provided and the services that they gave me was that. And then moving forward, during COVID, of course, I moved here with my family and not having a job, looking for a job. Dress for Success again was that platform to provide me the support that I needed, because I needed a sisterhood. I needed to find women who accepted me as I was, not to judge. And I was like, I need to find a Dress for Success here. And lo and behold, I found it 7 minutes away from where I live. I met Amara Martin and started volunteering. Of course, during COVID, everything went online. So I started going to our online workshops. Once the world opened back up, I was able to volunteer. I became an ambassador for the organization. And so how destiny and purpose works, here I am today. And they gave me a chance, an
Yes,
opportunity to work for an organization that changed my life.
that's amazing. You know, to transition, especially specifically as to where you are, you were, as far as professional development is concerned, that seems like that's what you were able to be included in. It gave you a pathway to go from, your situation to feeling included to being able to transfer your life, and then we get into the equity part, which is professional development. And I know that's a huge program in which Dress for Success Denver specializes in at this stage. So, Amber, if you can take us down the pathway of professional development and what that looks like for the organization.
Absolutely. Professional development is absolutely key to really increasing the DEI, because equity is when you start making a difference in people's lives and leveling the playing field.
Okay.
So, Dress for Success Denver has a professional women's group, and our PWD consists of women that came through our programs and are employed. We meet once a month and we provide professional development training, employment and educational opportunities. We give everyone dinner. We provide them with a gift. And this program has been incredibly successful. Today, we are averaging about 70 women a month that are attending this group. And it is a beautiful thing because you
Yes.
look across the room and you see so many different women, every age, every ethnicity, every single type of individual, including individuals who gender identify as female. Everyone is in there together and they are coming with a like mind to change, to grow, and to be better in their careers as well as better in themselves. So it is our responsibility to bring programming that helps. So we bring leadership development, we bring health and wellness. Financial education is absolutely key. Our mission is to empower women to be financially independent. And the best way to do that is by providing financial education. So we have partners in the community that provide free classes to teach women exactly how to manage their money, regardless of how much money they have. And we are finishing with the do's and don'ts of the workplace. One of the things I love the most about our PWG, it's a safe space where you can ask questions. You can be honest. Bernadette had mentioned the sisterhood. Well, here you can say, gosh, I'm really struggling on my job. I'm struggling with my coworkers. I'm struggling with trying to figure out how to manage criticism from my boss. And we, as well as the other women in the group, can help you move through that. We can be there for you when something happens, because we all know something's going to happen at work. You know, you're going to keep the job, you're going to lose the job, you're going to get laid out. You know, something is going to happen. And we can be there and provide that safety net so that when something happens, you can be prepared so that you can keep going on that upward trajectory and not have to worry about getting knocked down and getting knocked out.
Okay. And with this professional development, I know Ann Klein, a mutual friend of ours. I know she works for an organization. I've known her for a few years. She's been a huge. Actually, I spoke to her the other day, and she lit up because that obviously it fits her character. But she was able to see a lot of growth and just the functionality of the networking and the ability for these women to really connect and get the information and resources that helps them propel forward. How has Ann Klein been a huge asset for the organization?
Ann Klein is fantastic. I am so happy that we found her and we brought her on our team. She
Yeah.
is extremely well connected. And so she knows everyone and she brings all of these wonderful resources into our group that allows us to share that with the women. She's matched with our team and we're working very synchronously together. And it's really been a blessing to have her. I think she's also special because she brings a level of experience that she can share with the women. She has been where they are. She has struggled herself. And so she understands the struggles and she understands what's going on. So, as a workforce navigator, she is really able to assist the women one on one, as well as in a group, as well as help us all learn and work together. I know she's teaching me some things, and her and Bernadette are working together, as well as she and our operations manager, Jennifer Waynes, are all working together. And it's so important to me that we have that because we have a small team. There are 5 of us, 5 women work at Dress for Success Denver. And through the help of the community and volunteers and employers and everyone out there, we're able to serve 2,500 women a year. 20,000 women since the day we opened our doors in 2006. And there's no way that we could do that without the help of everyone in our community.
Absolutely. And just a little quick message to you, Bernadette. Ann Klein says she loves geeking out with you, being creative and going, addressing ideas and coming up with stuff. So just want to make sure you do that.
Oh, yes. Thank you. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have met you. Thank you so much.
That's true. All right. This is another thing that is important here is career training, the Career Training Center. Bernadette, when you come out of a situation, and I refer to your story, not to highlight it, but just to think about the transitional point. When you're coming out of something such as that or severe, and some of these women are coming out of different situations, is being reintegrated into society, into your equity. So career training at this particular stage after coming out of something like that, how does that how does that feel to you emotionally, and what does that do for your spirit and just letting you know everything's going to be okay?
Oh wow. Uh, just when I found that safe space and I had someone who supported me and was there for me, because Dress for Success, they may not be counselors, licensed counselors, but they have the spirit of empathy, acceptance, and empowerment and encouragement to the women that they serve. And me being on the receiving end, I needed the upskilling and to enhance what I already had, but to believe in myself. And I think that's the biggest key for all of us, all women who come through Dress for Success. Our A lot of times our self-esteem, those who come out of situations, are low. Some have none. And having the Career Center help me along the way and redo my resume, share what I need to have on there, take off, it's too long. That was just a piece of it. That's just a minor piece, but it's so much bigger because it gave me confidence and I was able to communicate and ask the questions because I was preparing for another interview for another job in the company to help me sustain my finances. Because when women come out of domestic violence, 8 million a day, according to National Domestic Violence, lose pay. And then
Yeah.
most of us, we lose our jobs. So having that career center was key for me to at least see my value, help me understand how to speak it at the table when I had my interview, and also to understand the communication aspect of it,
Mm.
because a lot of times there's pieces that we miss. But the upskilling was key for me. Of course, Dress for Success has continuing education opportunities through Aspiring Academy. I was able to take classes back then, and then even moving forward when I moved here from Michigan to Colorado, and I lost my job in Michigan due to COVID. And here I am after working 30 years. I had to start all over. And that's hard for a lot of women when we lose our jobs after working for 30 years, especially during the pandemic. I was like, oh my God, here I am again. I haven't had an interview in 30 years. Okay, now my resume is 5 pages long. How do I cut it down with all my experience? And Dress for Success Denver's Career Center was there for me as well. Even during COVID, we went online and looked at my resume and made changes and had conversations to help me again see myself and see my value and how to communicate that to other people. So Dress for Success's Career Center, we provide women with confidence based on having interactions, exchange of conversations, mock interviews, and especially that resume, because that resume represents who we are. And Dress for Success is Career Center is what helped me be able to do that, and especially moving here to Denver.
Yes, that's amazing. And along those lines, that job readiness and those classes, Amara, I want you to take us down how important this is. And one of the things that we didn't say within this transition is when women go through specific issues and challenges, such as what, some of the women that you serve, one of the things that's attacked is a women's sense of security. And, so I know one thing I know when you have these classes, you have the career development, you have job readiness, you're actually reintroducing security and the opportunity to get back into that equity in that place, where they feel secure. Does that sound accurate, Amara?
Absolutely. I think it's completely accurate and I think it's completely important. And I would go far enough to say it's security, but it is also a level of confidence. I
Mm.
think it doesn't take a lot to kill your confidence, but it takes a lot to rebuild your confidence. And I personally have worked at Dress for Success for 16 years. And for 10 years, I was in program management. So going into shelters, going into jail programs, going into schools, teaching classes, and helping to build that confidence. So I've seen firsthand what it takes in order to do that. And one of the things is to feeling confident is practice, 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 and training, and feeling like you have a level of understanding in what you're doing. And when you're going out and interviewing for the job, this is the most nerve-wracking experience you can have. Because yes, it's a job and you're trying to do the work and do your tasks and get along with your coworkers. But to the women we're serving, this job can change your life. This job can help you get out of living in your car. This job can get you money so that you can take care of your kids, or you can afford the football fee so that your son can play football that he's always been dreaming of, that you have had to tell him, no, I can't because I don't have that money. It can help you buy birthday gifts and Christmas gifts and Hanukkah gifts and all kinds of stuff. These jobs mean life or death to a lot of the women that we are serving. And so the job readiness classes are vital because we want to take you from the start to the finish. Like, what is it that you really want to do? It's so interesting to me. A lot of women that are coming through our programs have never been asked, what do you really want to do? It's usually get a job, make some money, get out of that shelter and go do your thing. But instead, we want to focus on what do you really want to do? Where does your passion lie? Because that's going to allow you to grow. That's going to allow you to sustain that employment and to move into a career that will be sustainable. As we all know, Denver is getting more and more expensive, and you have got to have a job that will allow you to make money so you can live in this city. So you might as well find one that you love. So with our job readiness classes, we can start from who are you and what do you want to do? And we can work with women along the line down to, okay, now you have a job. Here's what you need to be doing your first 30 days so you can make it, so that you can get a promotion, so that you can apply for a raise or a lateral shift. And I love our job readiness classes because we go out into the community and partner with agencies, and we can tailor to their specific needs. So wherever we're going, we can design classes for your specific population. And we take care of everything from start to finish. And then it culminates with women going to our boutique space to receive their suiting for their new interview.
Amazing, amazing. And that brings me to this. As you talk about getting into this place of, so again, let's paint the picture. You're coming from this situation, you're getting the professional development, you're getting job readiness. Now financial education, starts to fit the picture. How does financial education why is it so important at this particular time? Are you saying that these women are struggling because of their struggle? They've lost sight of their financial education, or what does that mean to the organization in inserting this into these women's lives?
I think, to be 100% honest, I think a lot of us have never had financial education, period. Like, it doesn't matter, like our population or any population. And a lot of our financial education comes from our background. So we learn how to deal with money based off of how we were raised with money. If we were raised that it's hard to get money, then we grow up thinking it's hard to get money. If we are like, oh, I get money, I spend it. I buy everything I want. That's what we do as we get older. Yes. And it's hard to reprogram that financial belief system. And what I've seen through these partnerships, we need to reprogram that, because regardless of how much money you make, if you are able to manage that, get your savings, get your emergency fund, budget, effectively pay your bills, it takes that burden off of you so that you can live your life and enjoy your life. And so it's so important to have that financial education. And then to what Bernadette was saying, with individuals who are coming out of difficult situations, whether that be domestic violence or homelessness or coming out of incarceration, that can often hold you. It can bind you to where you're from. So many individuals who are coming out of domestic violence will stay in that situation because they don't have any money, or they don't know how to manage that money. And there's a fear that if I leave, I don't have any money. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I'm going to lose my lifestyle. So if you can provide education that will help individuals learn that you can live, that you can figure out your life through your financial education, then you get freedom to be able to try things, to do things. If you want to go back to school, if you want to start a side gig or start some type of a business, it opens you up to dream and to hope. And I believe in hope. Hope goes a long way. If you can instill hope in a woman, she can be successful. She can achieve self-defined success, not success according to me, but according to her. Every woman is the master of her own destiny. And all Dress for Success is doing is walking alongside her and giving her the resources so she can achieve.
Amen.
So
I love it. I
So
love it.
true.
Bernadette, did you want to chime in on that?
Sure, I can attest to that. Definitely, what Amara is saying, based on my situation, and a lot of times women who are in a lifestyle where they may not be the breadwinner, and the spouse or the significant other makes most of the money, or has a job that is providing all of it, especially when you have children and you're a stay-at-home mom, or you're a mom that's working part-time, and you're dealing with that situation. Like she said, you don't have anywhere else to go, and you don't know what to do, but then at the same time you have to leave it, because if you stay, it's going to be either life or death, and a lot of times women don't survive it. And I'm just grateful because Dress for Success gave me the hope, like Amber said, hope and the grace to get me where I needed to go. Because at that time, I had a 11-month-old and a 2-year-old, and I needed to leave. But I was like, I don't have the funding, the attire to get me to where I need to go, because I was in that transition. But then Dress for Success was there and gave me the opportunities to get the job that I needed to become financially sustainable myself. And it's almost like bringing home ec back into the community, because they've taken it away. And Dress for Success is that platform to provide that home economics financially, because in high school, I learned that. But when you grow up and you get into a lifestyle that's beyond what you ever thought you could imagine, and then you're in that hostile environment and you have to get out, and then it's all taken away, what do you do? And Dress for Success and the financial literacy programs helps women come back into understanding what the checking and the savings and the retirement and emergency funds are. And it is a lifesaver for the women that we serve.
Amazing. Okay. And thank you for sharing that. And this, you know, when I think about the story and I think about this, because when I look at this truck, to me, it feels like it's like a baby being born. When I met Amara, when we talked about this truck, she lit up. When I talked to Bernadette, she lit up in a different way as well. So Bernadette, talk to us about how you're able to come about, and some of the things that you had to do in order to put this thing together.
Yes, thank you. So at the time when I came into Dress for Success and was volunteering, and during my 90-day trial, I was in school, of course, at MSU Denver last year, and I had an introduction to high impact nonprofit organizations class at MSU Denver. And the last project of my class, the last assignment, was to do and ask for an organization of my choice. And I met with, of course, during my school semester, I was talking to Amber about my class, the assignments, and things like that, because I was learning and growing at the same time while I was in my class. And I said, well, I have an assignment, and it's to do an ask, and I'd like to ask you, what does Dress for Success Denver need? And she said, we need a 20-foot box truck. And I was like, a 20-foot box truck? What do you want to do with the 20-foot box truck? And she said, I want to Dress for Success on wheels. And she had all the layout and everything. And I was like, well, with my professor, Mr. Million, I said, well, I have this ask of the executive director at Dress for Success, and they need a box truck. And he was like, oh, really? Because he was like, well, just ask for something small. And I said, you know what? Either I'm going to go big or I'm going to go home with this one, because I work for an organization that changed my life. I have someone who saw something in me and hired me. My job is to support and believe what she believes, and what she sees, I see. So I said, well, I'm gonna do my research. And at the time, my husband is working and was working for Champ Honda. And I said, I need to meet your owner of Champ Honda. He's like, what? I said, do you know you the owner of Champ Honda? He was like, I've seen him, but I haven't really talked to him. I said, well, I need his email. I have an assignment for my class and I need to send it to him. He said, well, send me the email and then I'll send it to him. I was like, okay. So I created an email, sent it to him. He sent it to the owner of Sean, Aaron Wallace, and I got a response. And I was like, oh, wow, he at least read it. Because a lot of times when you do an ask or you're presenting to a big corporation or organization, a lot of times they don't have time to read emails. And a lot of times they miss it. And I was like, well, he got the email. Wow. And I said, Amber, he got the email. You know, I was like surprised. But then he sent me a message and said that I needed to talk to his mother, who is Lisa Shaw. And I was like, okay, I need to talk to his mother. And he said, you know, he gave me her information, gave me her contact number, and I had to text her and do the ask. And then next thing I know, I get a call the next day. He said, schedule a meeting to do the ask. And I share with Amara. Amara is an excellent and amazing coach. She was able to coach me on how to do the presentation and do the ask. And we had the Zoom call. And I shared her dream and her vision of Dress for Success, because it is very important to meet women where they are, because a lot of women who come to Dress for Success come far from the bus, from the transit. And I have never rode the transit, but I hear when they come in, it's been an hour or two on the transit, and it's a lot. And we did the ask and waited for the answer, and he said yes. And because one thing I noticed that they have a slogan, one price, one person, 1 hour, and Dress for Success has one woman, one suit, one job. And I was like, well, with that company, and they've been in business since 1941 and boots on the ground for communities, what would it be to have a wonderful partnership and collaboration with Dress for Success Denver and have them be a part of this life-changing vehicle to go into communities, travel across Colorado. And I'm just so grateful. And it's all because of God. He used me as a vessel to be here for Amara and Dress for Success Denver. And I'm just so thankful that we were able to get this done. And, you know, and thanks to Aaron Wallace, Lisa Champ, and Champ Subaru, and all the team for believing us, because it's very powerful. So that's the story, pretty much it. And I'll let Amara take it from there.
I love it. I love it. Amara, go ahead.
I'm so proud. You know, I'm so proud, because it's one thing to have a dream, and it's another thing to see that dream come to fruition. You know, it's kind of like when you were building this platform. You have this dream, you have this vision, and you have to communicate that to the public. And you have to get people on your team like Bernadette, like Champ Subaru, like Lumery, like Jean Townsend, and all PA.J. Well Foundation that believed in us and believed in this project and pushed us forward with this project. And I also believe it is important to meet women where they are and help them where they are. As Denver continues to grow, we are creating women living in pockets of poverty around our city and around our state. And this box truck, this Butterfly Bus Mobile Transformation Unit, we call it the Butterfly Bus because transformations take place on there. And this unit will not only be the evolution of services for Dress for Success, but we will be able to serve women across Colorado. There's no place we can't go, and there's no one that we miss. If you are looking for help in our state, Dress for Success is there to help you, and not just to provide you a suit. We're going to go beyond the suit by providing the job readiness, the career training center, the continued development that you need in order to thrive in work as well as in life. It's really special. I mean, like you said, I'm jazzed about this truck. I see it rolling up and down I-25, like going to Fort Collins, going to Pueblo, going to Colorado Springs, going to Brighton, going to the Aurora Mall. You know, we can go everywhere. And I truly believe that 2,500 women served a year will skyrocket. Because if you think about it, Dress for Success is for everyone.
Yes.
There's really no one that Dress for Success does not have a program to serve. Rather, you want to serve someone, you want to give, or if you need to receive. There is something for everyone at Dress for Success Denver, and this program will really expand our reach.
I love it. I love it. And I appreciate the value the two of you coming together on this, and Amara being brave enough to position your ask and let to put it in Bernadette's hands to make that happen. And that's how teamwork works. And I love to see that come to pass. And I'm excited to be on I-25 to see the truck right next to me, just for a few minutes, because everybody knows the traffic on Denver is crazy. But that's a different show, right? So let's talk about Be the Change. When you think about Be the Change, that is such a, it's almost like when you talk about hope, Amara, you talked about hope earlier. And when you lose hope, you lose a identity of the opportunity of change to occur. And so being the change, what does that mean? And I'm going to have the two of you address that. And what does Be the Change look like in this day and age and for the organization?
Oh, wow. So being the change, especially speaking from my experience and what I've gone through and the things that I've seen come to fruition in my life through Dress for Success being that platform, it's actually going into communities, because a part of my job is I have to create relationships, partnerships, collaborations, and every person that I see is either a customer, client, volunteer, sponsor, donor, recipient. We need them on donation day. It can be a man, woman, someone, a family. We have families that come in that help us on donation day. And my aspect of change is changing the situation and circumstances of every woman that comes through our door. Because when I sit in the Career Center, because our operations manager, Jennifer Wayne's trained me to be able to help out when we get busy. And when I see that woman sitting across from me and she's sharing her story, and I'm like, I am her and she is me. Or I know someone that was her and I know where they are now, especially even coming through Dress for Success Denver. And change is about changing the conditions or the thought of what people think Dress for Success Denver is. We're more than just a suit. We change the lives of every woman that we meet. And I am a product of Dress for Success. And I am so proud to share that story and to share my experiences and how it's transformed my life, because I was that butterfly, but I was that caterpillar in the cocoon, and I couldn't see myself because of everything that I was going through. And change happened. It didn't happen instantly, except for when I got the suit and got the job. I saw myself, but I had to gradually grow and heal and see myself in that mirror. And every time, and even working with Dress for Success Denver now, and coming out of COVID, I couldn't find a job. And I'm so grateful, because now as I grow, I'm that butterfly. I transform every day, and change is about making an impact and giving other people the vision and the skill sets, and what they thought it was is something totally different, and that we are who we say we are, and we do what we do, and we have integrity about our services and what we do for women.
Amazing. I love it. Amber, what about you? What does Be the Change mean in your world?
Mm-hmm. Be the Change to me means making a decision to get involved. When I first came to Dress for Success Denver, I decided that I was going to do something. I think at that time, I didn't know exactly what I was going to do. I just knew I was going to do something. I saw something in the community that I didn't like. That's how we get change. You see something and it just creeps up your back, and you're like, you know what? I don't like that. That needs to change. That's not fair. That's not right. And I saw that and I felt it. And I'm like, gosh, you know what? We need to help some of the most vulnerable members of our community so that they can be successful. And no, I may not share their story. I may not share their experience, but I believe in them. And it is because I believe in them that I can from my position reach sideways and reach back to pull them up. What I loved about Dress for Success Denver is it's not a handout. This is a hand up. I'm giving you an opportunity to go and get a job. I don't get it for you. You have to go get it. But I'll give you the clothes, I'll give you the training, I'll give you the inspiration, I'll give you anything you need. And I will tell you the truth so that you can continue to grow and you can continue to develop not only as a worker or an employee, but as an individual. Being a strong, empowered woman is more than just being a worker. It is all of those things together. And as I've worked at Dress, and I joke, I grew up there. You know, I've been working there, for 16 years that I grew up in this organization. And I learned how to be a strong, empowered woman from building and working with all of these women. And it means so much to me. And I see women like Bernadette, I see women that come through our programs, and I see their journey and where they go. And there are no limits. You can do and achieve whatever you decide you want. So you can be your own change, and the individuals in the community can be the change by making that decision.
I'm inspired.
Yeah.
You're in the story. I love it. When it comes to getting involved, and I hear the passion, and I know the two of you can relate to the passion. Amara, you're not able to relate to it directly, but you found something that you did not like and you wanted to be part of the change. And I can appreciate that. For others, when it comes to donating, when it comes to participating, when it comes to volunteering, a lot of folks participate and get involved with things they can associate with. Now, if you don't come from this particular background, people tend to stray away. How can we change the perception where people can look at this more effectively as in totality of, hey, just because it's not me doesn't mean I can't come help. Mm-hmm. What do we need to do from here?
Absolutely. I think anybody can help. And I love the slide that you just showed, time, talent, and treasure. We really like that because that encompasses everything, because everybody has one of those or multiple of those. So let's talk about time. Even if you have just a little bit of time, you can donate your time. You can volunteer. People, we need volunteers. And I'll speak for every nonprofit organization. There is something that you can do at a nonprofit organization that you are passionate about, whether that's sweep the floor or stock or collect donations or talk to someone or help them with their resume. There's a lot of things that you can do. And so donating your time, even if it's 1 hour a quarter, can have a huge impact on the individuals that are served by that community. When we talk about your talent, what is it that you do? You do something well. So for example, the resume, we have people who have been in HR, we have teachers, we have people who've just been professionals who have interviewed people. When you interview people, you know what they should do and what they shouldn't do. And so maybe you could share that knowledge to help someone else on their journey. Then we talk about your treasure. We are asking for financial contributions for Dress for Success Denver. We need those finances so that we can keep our doors open, so that we can continue to serve women, especially as we move into our Butterfly Bus Mobile Transformation Center. Now we have a new set of costs. We have this gorgeous box truck, and she's going to be running up and down I-25. Well, we need gas and tires, and we need to make sure that the engine is maintained. And so there are things that we as an organization need. And I think it's fascinating that about 2.4 to 2.8% of all charitable donations go to women's organizations. However, 75% of those making the donations are women. And so my challenge, my charge to your audience is really think about those organizations that are often left and think about how you can get involved by making a donation yourself or making a donation through your company, through your church group, through your book club, through your networking group, because we are stronger when we come together rather than when we're just individuals. And so we really need you to join our supporters.
I can appreciate that, and thank you for sharing that. I'm going to have, and so speaking of donation, I'm going to have Bernadette talk about your donation day that's coming up on September 12th, I believe.
Oh, our donation day is every second Saturday of the month, and it'll be coming up. I think September 9th is the second Saturday of this coming month, and it's from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. If you're interested in coming to help us with our donation day, reach out to our operations manager, Jennifer Waynes. She is the one who is responsible in our point of contact for donation day, getting it scheduled if you want to come and volunteer. But donation day, it's amazing. When I got here from Michigan, coming to volunteer first, I couldn't believe the support that the community has giving the items for donations. And what we do accept is newly used and gently used or brand new clothing, professional attire, slacks, dresses, skirts, pants, shoes. We accept all accessories for women, handbags. And that's really important for our clients because we get to provide them with the clothing that they need for interviews, internships, and employment. And we'd love for the men to come out because what we do is donate forward, and a lot of times our bags are heavy. And like Amara said, there's 5 employees, but we do have volunteers, but we love to have the men come out and support us, the young men, the football teams, the soccer teams, high school students. We love all of our community to come out and help us. And thank you so much for those that do, but it's very important to have that support from the community.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. And thank you for sharing that. Remember, so September 9th, that is, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Second
All right. So there's also another huge day coming up. And from what I remember, is September 29th. So talk to us about that, Amara.
Absolutely. On September 29th, Dress for Success is celebrating our Sweet 16. So we are turning 16 years old and we are celebrating serving 20,000 women. This is our signature fundraising event. We will be at the Infinity Park Event Center. We have some wonderful activities lined up for you, a silent auction. We've got our DJ coming in. Yes, there will be dancing. And we are asking everybody to come dressed like you were 16, celebrate with us. And so we are celebrating the decades. What's most exciting about this is this event features a fashion show with the women that are in our programs, which is so cool because this is real women on the runway. We have women that are in their 20s all the way up to their 60s. We have that size 00 all the way up to a size 26. We celebrate everyone. And we want to thank the people who have invested in us. We want to thank our partners. I see Jordan from Pinnacle up there. She has gotten her company to support us in our efforts and in this event. We want to thank Adecco. We want to thank MidFirst Bank and New Desic and RSM and anyone else who is considering sponsoring this event, like Nelson Mullins. They've also sponsored. If you're considering sponsoring this event, please visit our website. We would love to have you sponsor, and we would love even more for you to attend and to get inspired to get involved with us for the rest of the year.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Whew, we covered a lot. Go ahead, Bernadette.
Oh, yeah, and don't forget that the box truck, the Butterfly Transformation Center, will be there, and it's going to be finished product, and our community members who come and attend will be able to take a tour to see this wonderful dream of Amara's come to life and her vision come to pass.
Yes. All right, ladies, we covered a lot, and I appreciate the two of you for taking us down the path and helping us understand what Beyond the Suit really means and what that means to the organization. And is there any final thoughts that you'd like to give the audience here, Bernadette?
Yes, I would like to share that Dress for Success Denver is hope for every woman in any situation be it from, like Amara said, incarceration, shelters, coming out of domestic violence, a high school student looking for a job and doesn't have the clothing that she needs. We are here for you. And all of our services are free. You can come in with we come serving you. We're here to give you empowerment, and you'll see yourself transform as soon as you come in and get that suit. Anything that you're experiencing before you got in the door is going to come off slowly but surely. And Dress for Success is there to bring life to every woman that comes through our doors.
Awesome. What about you, Amara?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for giving us this opportunity to share our story and what we're doing in the community. I want to thank all of the Denver community, because honestly, without the community, we wouldn't be where we are today. And I want to share with everyone that, when we talk about getting involved and we talk about how you have the power to change someone's life, I can tell you firsthand, not only does it change their lives, but it also changes your life. And it makes you look at your life and your circumstance differently. And I am stronger today versus where I was when I first started by being involved with Dress for Success, by working there, by interacting with these women who are so brave and so willing to overcome every single obstacle. It rubs off on me. And now I feel brave and I feel like I can overcome any obstacle. And it's just amazing what I see every single day. It is such a great gift of God to be a part of an organization that you can see the impact that it has, and it's instant, and it is absolutely amazing. And so I want to thank you all for allowing us to do this, for allowing me to do this, and for inspiring and encouraging the women in our community so that they can be better.
Thank you. That is awesome. I want to give some shout outs, actually. As a matter of fact, we have some people that gave us some feedback during the show, and we're going to go ahead and give them some shout outs for their support. And let's go show a little love to Jordan. Thank you for the hearts. And we have Terry. We have some more hearts. Thank you, Terry. And we have a nice message from Alex here. Thank you, Amara and Bernadette, for all that you do. DFS Denver has been a longtime partner for our Denver Public Schools Launched Internship Program, hosting our high school interns in their awesome organizations. Thank you, Alex. Let's see what we have here. We also have Summer, love your story. We have Summer also, security, confidence, independence, job practice, and safe environment. Love it. See, we have some love from Terry, Amara and Bernadette. Beautiful, beautiful. They must love the red as well, like I do. Another shout out from Terry. Speak. And then another shout out from Jordan. So just want to make sure that we give them their appreciation for being here, and just being here for this show to help celebrate the things that you two are doing and the whole organization as a whole. So I want to thank you two for coming on and blessing Executive Talk with your story, and be able to share some of this, because this is, and especially in the times that we're in right now, people need to know that organizations are doing something about things that are happening around the community. And I think we're starting to get to the point where we're starting to feel like everything's broken. Things can change, and this is part of the change. This is the vehicle of change. And that's what I love most about the story and the things that the two of you do. So I appreciate all your work, and again, coming on this program and blessing us with your story and letting us know how we can help you out. So we look forward to being at your events here coming up to help and support, and we'll be seeing you soon.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll see you guys in the next couple of months. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
All right. And to really end the show here, folks, I wanted to really have everybody take a moment and think about what you just heard. You heard a lot of restoration. You heard the power of restoration. how some people can come from a particular situation and change the whole world and get back on track. A lot of us in life, we get beaten down by a lot of different situations. And sometimes when we lose that hope, we start to lose identity. And to restore that identity, know that we can still make it, know that we are still capable, is so important to today's society. So both men, women, every opportunity that you have to get involved with these organizations helps you out personally to realize that, yes, to be around the change, to be around restoration is huge. And that's what we want you to do here from Executive Talk, is be part of these opportunities to help go down there and serve. Visit their website, figure out a way to get involved, and they provide a lot of different ways that can look. So thank you so much. But the three of us, we all have to get back to work. So we'll see you next time. Thank you.